Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? We got 6 people in here. Hey, man, it's Anime Wednesday. It's Anime Wednesday. I'm glad to be here with y'all. I see you, G5. Courtney, I see you. 7 people watching. Everybody hit that like button. Let's get this thing to 10 likes. So we got some interesting news today. As a matter of fact, before we even get into that, let me just tell you about my day. I didn't go to work today. So your boy is energized. Your boy is excited. Boy is happy, I guess you could say. We didn't go to work, so we are just here chilling. So we're gonna talk a little bit of anime. We got the homie Bloodi Knuckles. He'll be up here. We're gonna be talking about Goblin Slayer and did it go too far? Fairy Tail that started, and so we're gonna I'm gonna go over that a little bit. And we're also gonna go over the quick hitters and for a big show. So you're gonna get a big show and an Anime Wednesday. Smash Ultimate roster leak possibly. We'll go ahead and talk about that, seeming that it's going to be a packed show. Hey, let's just go ahead and get into the quick hitters. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Speaking of which, Nux, Bloody, you there, bro?
I'm always here, bro. You know how I do.
Yes, sir. So let's just go ahead and get over these quick hitter news. Stardew Valley, the game that everybody likes. Stardew Valley, the indie game that a lot of people liked, and it was on PC, and but now it's excuse me, it was on Switch. Now it's on iOS. You can get it in the Apple Store today for $7.99. So there you go. There's gonna be a lot to dive into, but it's not gonna have the multiplayer or anything like that. Obviously, it's gonna be a smaller update. But for those of you who can't get enough of Stardew Valley, go ahead and get it on your iPhone. There you go. It has now come to mobile. Next bit of quick hitter news. Trine 4 was officially announced this morning by developer Frozen Byte. They are going to be coming. The game is going to be coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So all 4 platforms there. I actually looked at this game because I didn't know what it was, but the name intrigued me. I actually looked at this game, and yeah. I just looked at the game and I was like, this looks interesting. So check it out. The links, all the sources are in the description box. Slimes Does Stuff says, I just did a video on the leak. It's uploading. Hey man, don't worry about it. So in other news, quick hitter news, East 8, come to find out, and here's the funny thing, it sold 500,000 units worldwide, and apparently that's good because apparently it's been a niche game this whole time. And so 500,000 units worldwide is good for East 8. There you go for that one. If you're a Destiny fan and you did not like Destiny 2, much like myself, no worries. Apparently Destiny 3 is in development. It's going to be more RPG focused and intense, more for the hardcore players. Let's see here. Just a little bit of things that are unconfirmed but are kind of leaking out there. Europa will be a playable location. It'll be more hardcore than the last expansion. It's going to go quote unquote balls out on RPG elements. Guardians may be able to use darkness in some capacity. Open world areas will include PvP and PvE content, which would be the first time Destiny has done this. So PvE and PvP content will be the same thing. And apparently people are worried that there's a new annual pass is coming in 2019, so you're not gonna get the DLC for free, obviously. So there you guys go for Destiny 3 rumors coming.
Boys.
Say what?
Yeah, you heard me. D2 sucks. That's all I'm gonna say.
This man pulling no punches. So in the last bit of quick hitter news, Sega says they are one step closer to bringing Dreamcast games to the Nintendo Switch via Sega Ages. The company said that there's 2 ways they can go about it. They can either do emulation or they can just do remakes altogether and kind of sort of fix the coding there. And so they're trying to sort out the 2 options. But it seems like emulation is going to be the chosen method pretty much. So if you're a big fan of GameCube, I mean, not GameCube. If you're a big fan of the Dreamcast, there you go. There you go. Some titles I like to see: Crazy Taxi, Sonic Adventures, of course. I know this wasn't exclusive to Sega Dreamcast, but Ready to Rumble Boxing. That was like the first game I played on a Dreamcast, so it's nostalgic to me. No, we have not talked about the leash yet, Slime. We have not done it yet. So let's see who's all in the chat. Courtney says boo. Ed says Xbox sucks, and of course Fake Mate is here to come back with the whole PS5 PlayStation sucks. So there you go. I love it. Fake mate always in here coming back. Couldn't hear Nick because of Trash Box last night. Okay, chill. PS4 greater than Trash Box. We haven't talked about Goblin Slayer yet. We're actually going to talk about, you know what? Let's go ahead and just get into this big show. Oh, yes. So, if you guys click on the description box, I don't even know what you have, bruh. Hold on a second. They can't see you yet, buddy. They can't see you yet. Hold on. So, here's the Reddit. Here is the Reddit link. So, apparently, let me just go ahead and just show you guys this picture. There was a quote-unquote leak for links in. No, it's too big. Never mind. Just click the link in the description. It's labeled under there, smash link. Anyway, so there was a quote-unquote leak today for for Super Smash Bros. The rest of the roster was leaked. It was pretty interesting. Let me go ahead and just show you the picture right here. So, as you can see right here, it's really blurry. First of all, I mean, should we trust blurry pictures? Let me just ask that question. Should we really trust it? On top of that, it shows Shadow, Banjo-Kazooie, Isaac, Ken from Street Fighter, Mach Rider, of course, Kids from Rhythm Heaven, and of course, Geno from Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Some people, I watched Game Explain's video. He said that, I find this fake, but he did say one detail that reason why people think this is possibly real is because the person who leaked it did not blot out their name, so you can see their name. People did research, and this person works for a French marketing company who works for Bandai Namco, who helped develop part of Super Smash Bros. People are kind of putting these pieces together, saying, well, this could possibly be real because this guy leaked it, who works for here, who works for this company, who is partnered with this company, yada, 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 yada. And so people are kind of putting the puzzle pieces together there, saying, hey, maybe this could be real. I don't know. We already know with all this stuff like that, like, take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Ed says Banjo, it's fake. I don't know, man, because Banjo was part of Nintendo 64's, history there. Yes, it is a Western IP. It is a Western property, but you never know. Big Man says, I can't trust random French people. Come on, man.
That's wrong.
It is wrong. I mean, Banjo was made by Rare, right? No.
Yeah, it was made by
Rare.
And Rare had that partnership with Nintendo way back in the day.
Yes. So, I mean, it could be possible, right? So all I'm saying is it's interesting for it. My favorite thing of this leak, if it is true, is the fact that they took Geno from Super Mario RPG. I've always, me and Abaddon have spoken, saying that if Geno is in the game, then we can see Geno be coming. We could be seeing a new Super Mario RPG coming or something related to it.
I would love to see a new Super Mario RPG. I think Super Mario. You know what? Super Mario RPG is what set the precedent for all the games that came out on the Game Boy Advance and through the DS and 3DS with, what was it? Super Mario Superstar Saga, and then from everything that came after, like Bowser's Inside Story and all that. Those all came from what they established and tested with Super Mario RPG.
Yes. Super Mario RPG 2 would make me scream more than I did with the Geno leak. Right. And so, like I said, I mean, one more time, just look at it real quick one more time. Shadow makes sense. Sonic's already in there, Tails. Banjo-Kazooie is the one that has everybody shaking their head. I would love to see.
Well, I mean, for Banjo-Kazooie, a lot when they first announced Smash Ultimate, a lot of people messaged or tweeted at Phil Spencer, say, hey, can we get Banjo-Kazooie and Smash? And he's like, yeah, sure.
Exactly. So
I mean, and with the amount of time he spent back in Japan recently over the past couple months, I think it's a possibility.
And there was a video. He actually did talk about that, how Xbox did a terrible job at forming relationships, and that's what they're there for. So you never know. It possibly could happen. But it says people want a Goku, people want a Waluigi. Yes, but you come on, man. You already know Nintendo is not here giving people everything that they want. Nintendo's also, they like to play the troll game a little bit. So
Yeah, but to be fair, Ed, is that they also do keep it somewhat reasonable. I think the biggest addition that they made that was a little bit unexpected was when they did, what was it, Solid Snake, and that was only because of the fact that they were able to do Solid Snake because of the fact that they had Twin Snakes, which was the remake of the first game on the GameCube.
Yes, sir.
I think that's why they were able to get away with that. But there's been no active Dragon Ball game until Fighters, and that just recently came out for a Nintendo console. There's been no previous Dragon Ball games on a Nintendo console.
Yes. And Salty's Game, I see you. What's up? You didn't miss too much, bro. We did the quick hitters. Now we're talking about the Smash Ultimate Roster League. I don't know if you saw it. I'll show you one more time right here on the screen. So as you can see, it's a blurred out picture, but apparently people are thinking that this could possibly be legit based on who put it out and, you know, stuff like that. But you know, Real Mate said it best. I can't trust a random French person. but you know.
Hey, you leave the French alone. They had nothing to do with this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we talked about that today. And, you know, the ones I'm excited for, Gino and Banjo. I hope it's true. Shadow, whatever. Ken, I mean, Street Fighter, yes. But Gino, Banjo, those are the two that I'm most excited for if this is true. I hope it is true. Like I said. And then after that, no more characters, because it seems to be they just keep coming out with characters left and right. And it's absolutely ridiculous.
Be fair, Ken is absolutely possible since Ryu was in fucking Wii U and the 3DS version.
There you go.
So that one is like the most obvious like possibility with them adding a new character. Ken and Ryu easily.
That would make Salty. That would make it like almost. What were we already at? Like 70? It's 72 with the original announcement, and they announced like what 4 or 5 more in the Smash. So that would make it almost 80 plus. 80 plus. So yeah, it'll be nuts if this is true. 80 plus characters in Smash sounds ridiculous.
Hey, yo, Nick, did you hear that Mario was going to be in the new Smash game?
Yeah, man, I didn't hear that.
Oh man, it blows my mind.
It blows my mind too. No, but we will find out because apparently, you know, with the leak saying that there will be 2 directs in November. I mean, everybody's getting the hype train going here with these rumors. We'll see what happens with that. So, without further ado, it's Wednesday. Y'all know what that means. It's anime Wednesday. We got some things to talk about. Goblin Slayer. We're gonna talk about that little controversy that happened there. and you know, one of my favorite anime. Yes, I said it. I'm gonna go ahead and claim it right now. One of my favorite anime, Fairy Tail. But whatever. Let's go ahead and get into it. There he is, the man. Bloody. What's going on, man?
What's going on? I had to bring one of my sweethearts here. For those who don't recognize who this is, I had to bring Madoka in on this one because of the fact that we're gonna get into something with a lot of people who weren't expecting to die and other things. So I had to bring something that did not give you the feel of what it was until you watched it.
Yes. So let's just start with what you've been watching. Let's just start there.
Let's see. So of course, how to keep up with Goblin Slayer because oh boy. We're gonna talk about that. What else? I've been watching season 2 of Golden Kamuy because that one I really liked, and I'm glad that the second season was right now during the fall season. I'm also watching That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, which makes me laugh. I absolutely love it because while isekais are so bad, sometimes they're just great, and this one just makes me laugh so much. I actually absolutely love it just because of the fact that he's a slime. Of all the things, they made him a slime. It's not as bad as The Time I Got Reincarnated as a hot spring, but it's still great.
Are you seeing the chat right now? Everybody is like looking at you like, this is over my head. There's an anime about slime.
Yes. There's an anime about being turned into a slime, being reincarnated as a slime.
Bro, I don't even know how to respond to that or reply to that, dude. Here's what I've been watching, and here's what's on my list. Okay, so Hunter x Hunter. I'm gonna keep doing that one, of course. Fairy Tail, Black Clover, of course. Now, Here's one that I know you're going to be pleased with. Is there are 2 on my list that when I was doing my stream on Twitch for Undertale, was it this weekend, Monday, Sunday, sometime, somebody hopped in there and we were talking and they were like, dude, you like anime? And we were going back and forth in the chat. And he was like, you need to watch certain scientific railgun and a certain magical index. And I was like, yeah, my buddy Bloody talks about it all the time and says it's really good.
Yes.
So yes, I'll go ahead and put it on my watch list. So that's on my watch list. I haven't started it yet. That's on my watch list, as well as the Fake Mate. You'll be happy about this one. Death Note. Okay? It's there. All that's going to be there. All that's going to be there.
Okay. If you have Death Note, well, Death Note has it's great, but it also has points where sometimes it does kind of drag things out, but it is a very smart anime with the way that it plots a lot of things. If you want another one that's very well thought out and intelligent, watch Code Geass.
Okay, so I'll put that one on there. But that's in my list right now. Those 2 in specifically are on the list. So that's what we're watching. So let's go ahead and just start with this.
Do you want to start? You want to start with the controversy, or you want to save that last and go into your thoughts first with Fairy Tail?
That's a good question. What do you want to do?
Yes, Slime. There is an anime on your dad. Absolutely.
So what do you want? What do you want to start with first?
Let's go ahead and start with the weaker of the 2 subjects. So let's go to Fairy Tail.
So Fairy Tail came out. 3 episodes have been out, and so I know you probably haven't watched them yet. I don't know if you have or not, but so far,
look, I still need to watch the Alisations arc right now of SAO.
Okay, so here's the deal. I understand why everybody hates on this anime. Okay, perfectly fine. It's still one of the ones that I like a lot. I like a bunch. I'm not gonna just deny it out of embarrassment because all my friends don't like it. Forget all that. I actually do like the show. I do enjoy it a lot. So I've been watching the first 3 episodes, and it's good so far. It's typical Fairy Tail, typical, goofy, friendship, all that stuff. But my concern is this. Yes, what they're doing is great. I get it's the final season, and so far so good. But my concern going into the future of this is that, one, they are trying to force all their wide open story arcs into this season, which kills me because normally in Fairy Tail it's like, you've seen it. All the seasons are drug out, and it's one arc at a time. And so there are 4 arcs that they've already referenced in these 3 episodes that have not been closed yet. Zeref's arc, the Book of E&D, the Acnologia arc, and the Future Rogue arc. Like, they've already referenced those 4 already. And the fact that they gotta close all of those in this season is really, really concerning to me. I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna do it, because there's no way you can close, because all of this together, you could sort of spin this all together. I could see them trying to spin it all together. I just know if it's gonna work. I don't know if it's gonna work. We know, like, if you've seen Fairy Tail, you know the formula of Fairy Tail. Like, I don't see how they're gonna cram all this information into one season and how they're gonna do it. Especially with, I can see the Book of E&D and the Zeref arc, because those kind of tie together. Maybe Acnologia, but the Future Rogue arc, which is way off in the middle of left field. I don't know. And so that's my biggest concern for Fairy Tail right now. So far, so good. Enjoying it. Absolutely enjoy it. It's great. But yeah, it's looking like it's gonna get really, really what's the word I'm looking for?
Convoluted and all over the place.
Convoluted and all over the place, and foggy. That's the word I like to use. Foggy. It's gonna get foggy real quick. So that's my biggest concern for Fairy Tail. But if you're a big fan of Fairy Tail, you're happy, just like me. I'm happy. But it can get foggy.
That comes into the aspect of, one, just poor time management, the fact of that they're trying to rush this season with everything, because the fact that they've already been going through so much with all the strikes and how many times they've had to put the show on hiatus from the story and controversy within themselves. They have to end it, and they've left too much open previously. So now they're having to rush it, and that's gonna hurt them with this being their final season for the series. That they're gonna end up having a half-assed story throughout, because they're like,
exactly,
they have all these open ends, and they're like, crap, we have our main story arc, but we got to close everything up. Let's just shove it all in there, and it's going to just cause them issues. I give Fairy Tail a lot of grief, but for the people who do enjoy this show, they should be able to enjoy the final season and have it end the way that they wanted to without feeling like everything was rushed.
Everything is rushed together, yeah.
Just done through. Because look at what happened with Bleach. Bleach was supposed to end significantly longer before than it did. And after they're just like, no, we need to keep it going. The stories got more half-assed. They kept breaching that power ceiling and then having to rely on, the trope of, hey, we just need to keep giving a new form every time because we end up making a stronger character that we don't know how to deal with. And that's why by the end of the series, no one knows what the hell Ichigo was. He was basically everything at one time. He's Soul Reaper, Human, Hollow, whatever the fuck else that it was.
That is correct. But that they made so many references, and I'm like, oh man, like.
Well, I mean, that's a good thing though. The fact that they're acknowledging,
it is a great thing. I agree, but how are you going to do it? You only have so many episodes, and you know how Fairy Tail likes to drag things out. I mean, this could be a good thing though, because the amount of fillers and what they like to drag out in most seasons, they can't do that now. They actually have to pack it in one. So maybe it could be a good thing. You know what I mean? Maybe it could be a good thing, but I'm still concerned. I'm still very concerned.
Concerning. It is very concerning.
Very concerning about Fairy Tail. But if you're a fan of Fairy Tail, congratulations. We finally got it. We made it.
Yeah. we did it, guys. We finally hit the end.
We made it. So that's it
baby.
For the Fairy Tail talk. I just want to talk about that real quick. The real show is about to begin. I'm going to let you take the lead on this one, Bloody, because I haven't watched any episodes. I just went straight to that scene. I didn't even start the episode or anything like that. I just went straight to that scene. Okay? Went straight to that scene, and from what I saw in that scene, it was a little disturbing. The amount of blood and the amount of violence in that 3-minute scene by itself was crazy, and not to mention the cherry on top at the end of it, which let's just
I'll take over before we go on. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this now to everyone who's watching, is that preface this, if you have like any sort of button right now, this is the trigger warning right now, because what we're about to talk about is very controversial for this show, and this is where we're going to get a little bit more mature than typically we do. And I know I'm very bad about that, but this has to be said.
Yes. Good disclaimer. Mature audience disclaimer coming up, especially for this topic. Good. You know what? Good on you, because I wasn't thinking about that. Mature disclaimer. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So Goblin Slayer, its first episode, because it's on episode 4 now. When the first episode came out, not a lot of people knew what the show was going to entail. And with the fact that, especially with the fact that its first episode.
No, Bloody's gone. Hey, rest in peace, rip Bloody. Let me go ahead and text him right now and let him know, hey, you dropped out. Oh my goodness. But anyway, so I'm a Goblin Slayer. So if y'all don't know, getting ready to explain it.
I mean, literally everyone you saw.
There he is. Yeah. Hey.
I don't know what just happened.
You just dropped out 100%.
Oh.
So whatever you just said,
I'll repeat it. Okay. I know. Fake Mate's right. YouTube does not want me talking about this.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going. Man.
Okay. So the show was not rated properly for its first episode. No. I will say that. It was not. It was rated PG, and that's where the biggest part of the controversy comes out from. But when it first starts out, because a lot of people didn't know what was in the show, is that it shows a brand new, fresh group of adventurers, and everyone thought, oh, look, it's going to be, about these kids all growing into being great heroes and, stuff like that. Doing their, first doing their first thing to go kill goblins. And, we're going to watch them grow. No. It went from 0 to 100 within the first 5 minutes.
Yes, it did.
Because within that 5 minutes, not only was everyone nearly dead, because everyone had been brutally attacked at that point, within the first 6 minutes, one particular adventurer was assaulted, beaten, and I'm just going to put it out there, so that's why we gave the preface. Goblin gangbang raped.
Yes, they don't show it though, but they do imply it with everything that happened.
Oh, they gave enough context. Well, there was no express skin shown explicit from breasts or anything else. There was enough coverage from censorship, but they used just enough cutaways to kind of just skirt the line, but they gave enough context from the fact that the goblins were holding her down.
Yes. She
was completely naked. And the last thing is we saw face down, ass up, goblin claws in, and right in.
Yep. And that's that's got everybody kind of, I mean, are people upset about it?
It was enough to say everyone was just like, what the hell? Honestly, what the actual hell? Because the fact that there was no warning at the beginning saying, hey, this may have graphic content. It was rated PG for the first episode, and it skirted the line just enough. Well, in PG, you can get away with some blood, because while they were showing that they were beating up these people and, there were some attacks, there were no full-on... You didn't see them fully being dismembered. There was not...
You didn't, but you did see them get murdered.
You could see the implications of it, but you weren't actually watching it. And then, not only that, they used enough cutaways to give context of the rape scene happening without actually showing it. And that's where it got a lot of people like, yo, how are they able to do this? Because when you look at a show like Overlord is rated mature from the very get-go, even though in the first episode not much happens. Same with what happened with Berserk. Berserk carried that energy from the very first episode throughout its entire series. And it was rated mature from the very get-go. The first episode, you heard her scream for it.
There you go.
Like I said, they put a lot of emphasis and skirted the line without crossing over. But it wasn't until the second and third episode that it was changed to a PG-14, which to me still isn't a right rating for the series. Maybe in the beginning, because it does significantly tone down later in the series, especially for those who read the manga. But it doesn't carry that same energy throughout the whole show, which is what really caused a lot of it too, is that a lot of people felt that the anime is pushing boundaries for the sheer fact of pushing boundaries. And they wanted to do the shock factor for the sheer fact of, hey, let's see what we can get away with.
Right. See, that was my thing. Like, I get, maybe they want to put some context in there. Maybe they want, because like when you think of goblins, do you think of goblins as like really evil people? No, you think of them as these freaking short weirdos that don't do too much and are just kind of there. You can kick them to the side. And so I think they wanted to make them like, yo, this is the enemy. This is the bad. This is like the absolute bad. Like, this is the bad of the bad. And I think I think they went to that extreme to make it seem, make it seem that way. That way, clearly, this is.
And to be fair, they are following the proper mythos of how goblins are. If you look in actual fantasy and look up actual things about goblins, this is what they do. But it's the fact of that there was no pre-context, no explanation, and just a rating that threw a lot of people off. If they had that pre-warning that they had in episode 2 and 3, it would have made sense. It was not there for a lot of people in episode 1.
Maybe that's why they had that pre-warning in episode 2 and 3, because people complained about it enough.
It should have been there from the get-go. When you have a rape scene like that, especially a gangbang rape scene, there's going to be words had from a lot of people.
Yeah, it was... Look, like I said, I just watched just that clip in particular, and it messed me up. I was like, oh, whoa, wow, holy crap. Like it wasn't like everybody made it seem worse than what it was, but it was still enough for me to like take a step back and be like, holy cow, like this is nuts the way they did this. And as you said, they didn't rate it properly. So, you know, you coming in watching it thinking it's going to be this, and then you get this, like, how off-putting can that be from the beginning?
Exactly.
So,
and that's where a lot of the biggest aspect of it, like, come episode 4 now, like, they did give a lot more context on why the goblins do what they do, going into a little bit more about them, but it's still just the fact of, it feels like they're trying to press the line just to press the line, and that's not always a good thing. It's not. When you have a show that's meant to be like that carries that energy throughout the series, that's fine. But when you have a show like this that kind of skirts back and forth, that's where you kind of start questioning where it stands. Because like I said, with Berserk has plenty of rape scenes, but you know, within the context of the world of Berserk, why it is the way it is. Because the fact that there was a lot of messed up aspects within that. You have shows like Parasite the Maxim that has similar scenes. There's a lot of shows even now that have that, but they are prefaced with that context well ahead of time, and they carry that. And typically you don't see these kinds of scenes outside of the horror genre, not necessarily anything within the fantasy genre, but this is kind of mixing between the two. And like I said, later on it tones down significantly, so you don't see that same aspect, whereas with Berserk it happened all the way through.
True. I've never watched Berserk. Everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, if you think Goblin Slayer is bad, watch Berserk." And I'm like, "How about I don't watch either?" You know.
Well, like, Berserk has it, but it's well worth the watch because it's significantly much better.
I don't know. I agree with Fake Man. He says that stuff's hard to watch. Like, it's hard for me to watch. So I don't know if I'll be able to watch it. Like, I'm gonna keep it real, keep it 100. Probably not gonna happen. To be fair, nowadays I honestly completely understand. Berserk is still an amazing thing, but it does have a lot of stuff in there that is hard to watch. Like I said, you're talking about, especially with Berserk, you're talking about one of the most tragic and messed up origins for a character ever. Because Guts is probably one of the most flawed characters that has ever been around in anime. You're talking about a person who was born after he was cut out of his mother's stomach while she was hanging and dying in a tree, and then taken as a child slave for a band of mercenaries and treated as a rape toy for the whole camp until he's about 13 when he kills them all in their sleep one night. That's pretty extreme. Hey, like, that sounds cool, but you know, because of the redemption story. But yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to watch that, bro. I don't know if I'll be able to watch that. That's a little Fake Man says yikes, too much. right. So it's about 6 o'clock.
But I'm just saying, with like Berserk, you kind of see a lot more of that flawed character within Guts, you know. But it is still a really good story, but it is still very dark. But it, you know, shows that dark atmosphere from the beginning, and it doesn't pull back because of the fact that it carries that. You see the humanistic side within that dark world. Right.
So my question to you would be, did Goblin Slayer go too far?
Yes, with its first episode, it absolutely did, because as I stated, without that warning, without the proper rating, a lot of people weren't sure of what they were going into when that came, because like I said, they pushed the lines for what they can get away with considering what was PG, and that's where it is. While those scenes still exist in some animes nowadays, they give you enough context, they're properly rated, and they give you enough warning. The last real, and I'll say rape scene, and I say that because of the fact that it was implied, but again there was a cutaway, but it was still there, was in an anime called King's Game. Really horrible, like really bad, but it was still in there, but they cut away and gave you just enough implications of what was happening, and they explained why it was happening well before the scene happened. This one just went straight into it. Yeah,
no warning at all. Avalon says Berserk is a dark anime where the gore and blood makes sense and justified.
Exactly.
There you go. And Goblin Slayer was one that had no context and nothing happened, and then all of a sudden it was out there. And so let's say it went too far. Like Buddy said, if pushing the line for the sake of pushing the line, sometimes is not a good thing. It can be a bad thing.
Yeah, and not to mention that the main character, Goblin Slayer himself, while they make sense of why he did what he did at the end of the end of the episode, I'm just gonna put it out there that he found a little hidey hole of some goblin kids and went straight Anakin Skywalker on them.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
But I mean, like, you just hear skulls bashing, you're watching blood pour out, and you're just watching the man just make mush. And
it is kind of brutal.
straight Anakin Skywalker, man, just straight up.
Hey, but maybe that was the context for the scene, so they make sure that you didn't feel bad for the goblins. So, like I said, it's 6 o'clock, so we gotta get out of here. Thank you, Bloody, for stopping by. Appreciate you, dude, talking about the anime. We'll be back. Can't speak. We'll be back next Wednesday. More anime talk. Who knows what we'll talk about? Maybe we'll talk about more Fairy Tail. Maybe we'll talk about a little bit of Black Clover. Maybe we'll talk about me starting a certain scientific railgun. Who knows?
Hey, before you start a certain scientific railgun, you got to watch the first season of a certain magical index first, because that's the one.
See, the person that talked to me on Twitch said I need to watch Railgun first before I started Index. So I don't know which one to start. I'm going. So you say watch Index first.
Yeah, the first season of a certain magical index is what started it, and then from there it's like the seasons of a certain scientific railgun, then season 2 and 3 of magical index.
Okay, so season 1 Index, Railgun, then Index.
And yeah.
Okay, I will do that. So once again, appreciate you for stopping by, Bloody. Let everybody know what you got going on. Let everybody know, you got the Smash podcast coming this weekend. Let everybody know what you guys could be talking about, maybe all that stuff, and what you got going on the channel.
All right, so they can catch me on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Mixer.com at Bloodi Knuckles. The O's a 0, the E's a 3, and it ends in a Z. Last week, we actually covered, amongst our group, the controversy of Goblin Slayer, as well as going into detail about the Funimation and Crunchyroll split, as well as some other big things for people who like Netflix and the Marvel shows. We talked about that. And we are going to be back this Saturday as well at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time. So be sure to check that out if y'all haven't, guys.
There you go. There you go. So click on that link in the description box. He's right there. Hit that subscribe button and then tune in Saturdays for that Smash podcast. And of course, it's me, Nicktendo Direct. Tomorrow will be another edition of Why YouTube, and I will have my buddy Smash JT on the show. We're going to need to talk about the ins and outs of YouTube, why he started YouTube, all that stuff. I take a YouTuber every week, and we just talk about why we choose to do YouTube and how they go through the creative stuff. And it's interesting for YouTubers. So if you like that sort of thing, if you're a YouTuber, you want to watch it, if you want to know about the workings of YouTube, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon. You don't want to miss the show tomorrow. Once again, Nicktendo Direct, Bloodi Knuckles here. We are out this thing.
Peace.